How's it going, everybody? Vegeta saying, what is good to all my Super Saiyan homies, here to bring you all sorts of anime gaming content. If you enjoy the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you don't miss out on any future content. That being said, today we've got another installment of fantastic equips and where to find them. Today we're going to be focusing on the 2 new free-to-play units. I figure rather than doing 6 individual videos, what I'll do is I'll do a video for 2 units at a time. So we'll do the base one and the Super Saiyan one, then we'll do Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 as another video, and lastly we'll do the 2 God Key units on their own. That's mainly because I don't know, I just felt like that because we're getting so many of them so quickly, I didn't want to just waste 6 days worth of videos on it. I felt like it was just, I don't know, I wanted to be able to make other things besides equipment guides this week, so that was why I decided to do that. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. Yeah, let's go into his equips, and by his I meant the red base Goku first. The first equip is the Awakened I Will Turn You Both into Scrap, and this one's pretty solid because while the first slot is going to be random between Blast Defense or Strike Attack, you're pretty much setting yourself up for something really good regardless. You're either giving yourself double defense with very high Blast Defense and very high Strike Defense at 20 and 18% respectively, or if you get the Strike Attack, you know, you could be going upwards of 30% on your Strike Attack as well as getting that crit slot in the middle. So this is a really solid Awakened equip. You can get the regular version from the equip shop with the equip medals you get from PvP, and then obviously the Awakened from, or the Awakenings from Ultra Space Time Rush medals. Next up, we've got This is Kaioken, which you can get from the EX Vegeta event, and this one's pretty solid because same exact reasons. It's kind of a light version of the other equip. You know, you can either go double defense, 15% and 18%, or you get strike attack up to, you know, again upwards of 30% if you combine the 12.5 in the middle and the 18 in the back end. So yeah, really is just a light version of the last equip we talked about. Really love using both of them on really any of my melee red types. Next up, we've got just hanging a little longer Piccolo. Now, this applies to all Gokus. I think it's really only worth it for the strike-based Gokus, but regardless, you can put this on any Goku character that you have. He's got, you know, it could either be upwards of really high blast defense, or, sorry, really high strike defense, depending on what you get in the middle slot, or really high strike attack, for that matter. So that just, you know, again, any melee-type Gokus you guys might have, this is a really solid equip to get going for him. You're really only getting the 2 stats, but whatever stat you end up rolling twice on is going to be astronomically high. So yeah, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention where you can find this one. You can find this one in the with the whale coins, so you could do the exchange shop with whale coins. But right now you can also get it in hyperdimensional co-op. So hopefully, you know, you can grind up a good amount of it for now. Or actually, I don't think that's true. I think it was the last hyperdimensional co-op. Hold on. Yeah, I take that back. It was the last one. It was with the ones with Frieza. It's not with Super 17. You can only get it right now via whale coins. Next up, we've got You Can't Win. Now, this isn't the greatest equip of all time, but, you know, it's pretty solid. It's got strike attack, strike defense, and then a pure blast defense buff based on the number of Saiyans you have. Now, while, you know, he is running on a Saiyan Saga team, and your best option is probably to run him along LF Piccolo if you're going to do that, for the most part, he really is going to be run along Saiyans. You know, with Saiyan Saga, if he's on Sun Family, if he's just on a regular Saiyan team that he's not necessarily buffing, that's going to be your best option. For the most part, he's gonna be ran alongside another Saiyan. So having a pure buff based on having other Saiyans with him, and, you know, obviously him himself being a Saiyan, having those pure buffs are really nice. This is one of those equips that you can get via the the equipment missions for Saiyans. So you guys can just go to that basic equipment mission, you know, clear that out as many times as you want, and you can really just farm this up real well. And that's the main reason why I have it here, because while it may not be the highest stats, it does offer a pure buff, and it's very easily accessible. Next, we've got Battle of Saiyans. This one is a solid defensive equip that I would say is, you know, if you just want your guys to tank a little better, this is a solid equip to farm up for every single Saiyan you're going to have. You can get it with the whale coins right now, once again, so your Z medals. Yeah, it's got, you know, it's got a nice little pure buff in the middle, only when you're faced with Saiyans, of course, but it seems like whenever you're faced with Saiyans. So, you know, it works out pretty well. You get health on the back end, you get strike defense, and then, you know, whatever you need in the middle, strike defense, blast defense, you can roll for whatever one you prefer. I like to have blast defense personally, just because, you know, I like to have a little bit of both, but a lot of people would argue that strike defense is the better one to have in this meta. And lastly, for this base Goku, because this will also apply to the yellow Super Saiyan Goku as well, is the It's All Up to My Fists. Now, this one you can get out of the Kid Goku event. You can really just farm this one up a whole bunch, because the coins that you get from that event, I believe 10 of those gets you one of these equips, and you get 400 a day just from doing the one a day mission. So you could really just keep farming this one up. Like this is another one that, you know, it's really just strongly accessible. It's got access to strike defense, special move / ultimate move, and vanish gauge recovery, which I think is the most important one. Giving that extra percentage to vanish gauge recovery it can really turn the tide of some battles in some cases. Alright, so next up we'll look at the yellow Super Saiyan Goku. He is a range type unit, so we'll keep that in mind for our equips. So the first one I want to mention is this should be fun. This one you can get in the Saiyan missions. Once again, super accessible. Only 15% to blast attack, but it does give health and damage to hybrid Saiyans, which is always nice with, you know, LF Future Gohan, with, with the blue Trunks, with obviously LF Gohan, the Super Saiyan 2 one, and now we even have floating around the tanky boy that is the Zenkai EX Future Gohan. So, truth be told, this is gaining more and more value as the releases come, and with the speculation that Sword of Hope Trunks is on the way, this is really going to, I just think, you know, keep increasing in value as time goes on. Accessible from the same exact area from the Saiyan missions is the Goodbye Everyone equip. Now, obviously, you only have 12.5% to blast attack to start, but you could be getting a really high strike defense depending on your middle roll, having over 30% on strike defense, or you get a strike attack and you have a very nice double offensive equip. So yeah, especially with the way his stats are balanced out, he seems to, you know, while he is a range type, he seems to have fairly well-rounded stats. This is a very solid equip for him, in my opinion. Next up, we've got Becoming Super Saiyan. This one you can get from the Super Saiyan equip missions, and this one's got some very interesting stats. 15% to strike defense, 20% to blast attack, and then one of my personal favorite stats, the Ki recovery stat for upwards of 7%. Yeah, just some really solid stats to have, a really solid blast stat in the middle, very respectable strike defense, and then I always love having Ki recovery. This one, again, you can get in the Super Saiyan missions, so it's super accessible. Just an overall strong equip to farm up. And it also applies to Fusion Warriors, keep in mind. Next up, we've got Hurry Vegeta, which can be got with your equip medals that you get from PvP. This one's a hugely solid one, considering that you get strike defense, blast defense, and then blast attack per Saiyan. Now, considering he is Super Saiyan, you know, while normally speaking, you know, you would want to run him on a Namek Saga team, even with that, you're going to probably be running him most likely alongside at least LF Namek-Ku, if not Ultra Goku, maybe even the Red Zenkai one. But regardless, you're going to have at least one other Saiyan with him, you know, obviously another incarnation of the Namek Goku. So yeah, definitely a solid one to put your equips on. It applies to every Saiyan range type. And again, the pure blast buff based on, you know, just the fact that he's going to be ran along another iteration of himself makes it very solid. So next up, we have the Awakened You Can Do It, right, Gohan? And this one is another one that you can get with the equip medals, you know, the ones that you get from PvP. This one is so solid, and also, obviously, you need the Awakens from Ultra Space Time Rush. But again, this one is so solid. You get a pure buff per Sun Family guy that you have. And so again, if you're running him on a Namek Saga team, obviously there's going to be other versions of Namek Goku. Those count as Sun Family. He's going to be getting the pure strike defense there. And then a very respectable 18% to both offenses. Again, for a well-rounded unit like him, this is an extremely solid equip. In my opinion, personally, I think would definitely help beef him up even more so than he usually is. Just to look at one that is not available currently, but is very solid for reroll if you have sitting around. We have the You're Sure to Win. We've got Blast Defense, Blast Attack, and Special Move. Especially for this guy who's, you know, he's an Namek Goku. That's what they do. You know, he's got the increase to blue card damage on his blue card. He draws on with his main ability. So giving a little bit of love to the blue card is definitely useful. In the same vein, we have Hurry Up and Die, which applies to all range types. Again, not available right now, but if you have one for reroll, definitely one of the best equips in the game. Ki recovery, special move, and a really high 20% to blast attack for the same reasons as the last equip. You know, just to beef up his special move damage a little bit, this is going to be a really solid one. Again, if you have sitting around to reroll. Anyway, I hope y'all found this one helpful. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.